Hey guys, it's Abby. I am back with another video, and today I will be doing the If I Could book tag. Thank you so much to AliBabaDeBooks for tagging me. The first question is, if you could change any book cover, which would you change? This one was kind of hard because I don't have all of my books with me right now, so I can't just look at all the covers. I would have to say Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. I love this book. Don't get me wrong, every single bit of it I loved, I cried, it was perfect, but the cover is just kind of like, it's like really lackluster compared to the content that's in here. Like, I feel like you could do better than this. And I hate when there are like people on the cover, like I don't understand how this has anything to do with the book at all. So, I mean, it could be worse. I know I've seen worse book covers, but this is just the one that stuck out for me. If you could bring any character into our world, who would you bring? I would bring Jessica from the 1-800-Where Are You series, also known as Vanished. I don't know which one it is anymore, but I've read it under both titles. I love this character. Those books are so funny. I've never laughed so much reading a book. They're funny, and she's charming, and she's so interesting, and basically what it is Jessica is a normal high school girl, kind of gets into trouble, gets into detention, blah, blah, blah. Then she gets struck by lightning. Suddenly she can locate vanished or kidnapped or stolen or missing children. And the books follow through her journey of all that and somehow knowing where all these children are. And of course there's a boy involved and blah, blah, blah. But the characters are so funny. And I'd love to just like be her friend or sit down and talk to her. Not even about like the vanished children, just about her. Because her life is so funny and she gets into the biggest messes, and this whole vanished thing just makes it even worse. If you could go into a book, what would it be? Now this one I would go into, but I don't know if I'd want to stay. I'm really interested in being in the Zodiac world. If you haven't read Zodiac by Romina Russell. I don't have it with me right now, but I have the sequel, which I'm currently reading, called The Wandering Star. And this world, how it functions is that each zodiac sign has a planet, and they all have different functions and purposes and different looks and gadgets and everything like that. And I mean, obviously I don't want to be in the world permanently because it is crumbling and falling, and that is the whole point of the book, is that it's messed up. But I think it'd be really cool just to like see what it'd be like to live on a world full of everyone who has my zodiac sign. Like, how cool is that? If you could have any animal from a book, what would it be? I don't really think that there's an animal that I can even think of. And even so, I don't know if that would be significant enough for me to want it. I really can't think of any of them. So none. No animals. I already have my own. I'm good. If you could kill any character from any book, who would you kill? The character is from Saint Anything by Sarah Dessen, which honestly, I didn't like this book very much. I read most of Sarah Dessen when I was younger, in middle school, high school, and this was her new book, and I wouldn't normally pick up another book from her just because I read so many that I was like, just done with it. But I really liked this cover and the title, and it's pretty, but it was kind of lackluster for me. But there is a character in here who I just want to kill. His name is Amos or something like that. It starts with an A. If you read the book, you know who I'm talking about. He is just disgusting, and I hate him. And the whole book, I was just thinking about how much I hated him. So that is the character that I would kill. If you could bring any character back to life, who would it be? Brace yourselves, because this is going to have spoilers for the book. So I will make sure that I give you a few seconds to jump away if you don't want to know the spoils. But All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. First of all, this book is so sad. So first, just don't want any spoilers. Cut out here. I'm giving you the second to jump ahead. Okay, the whole book, I mean, I guess most people would see it coming. I didn't see it coming because I thought, I don't know, I like happy endings, so I thought it was going to be a happy ending, but it was not, and I was crushed when Theodore died, and it made me so sad. And that is a character I would bring back to life. And I understand why the author did it the way that she did, and it worked for the book, and it worked for the plot, and, you know, it's the more realistic explanation for the ending, but I'm still sad about it. If you could have any author write you as a character, who would it be? Definitely David Levithan. He writes so beautifully. He could make my life sound so beautiful, you know? Like, I would like to have my life written like the Lover's Dictionary because it is so beautiful and cute, and I want to have my love life explained like this. That is so sweet. So I would pick David Levithan. If you could be any magical character from any book, what would you be? I would be a young elite from The Young Elites by Marie Lu. My reasoning for this is because they are really badass, awesome characters, and even though they're shunned against and hated and like murdered for being different than everyone else in the book, I still think they're so cool, and I'd love to be in their little underground secret society, and I love that whole premise of that book. If you could change any ending of any book, which book would it be? I would have to pick We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallace. This is not a talked about book very much, and I haven't heard much about it, but I love this cover so much. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read, but it was a debut novel, so I understand. The way that this ended, I understand why it happened that way, but it just made me upset because I wanted a clear answer and it doesn't give you a clear answer. And you think that for someone who reads contemporary so much, which always ends in very vague, unclear answers, that I would be fine with it, but I wanted to know. Basically what this book is about is it follows the perspectives of like 4 or 5 kids, just a gangle of kids who are all from different social groups, and the world is supposed to end in a couple months. And somehow they all get wrapped into each other's lives. There's an asteroid that's going to hit Earth, or it may not hit Earth. We don't really know. So the world is either going to end or it isn't. And we follow the lives of these kids as they approach the end or not end of their lives. If you could switch places with a character, who would you switch places with? This character that I'm about to talk about, I wouldn't switch every aspect of myself to her because she does have some sad parts of her life, but I would pick Gloria O'Brien's History of the Future by A.S. King. My reasoning for this is because this is a magical realism book. It follows a girl who's about to graduate high school, and it's kind of bizarre, but her and her best friend drink this water like that has like a fermented bat in it, like a dead bat. Stay with me, okay? And suddenly her and her best friend can see the history of the future. And I mean, there are obviously parts of it that aren't glorious, like having to see, whether so-and-so dies or your great-grandkids dying, but just, it seemed so interesting. They saw so far into the future. They saw world wars that haven't happened yet, and just really interesting things like that. And I think that would be so cool to just see into the future and see my great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter or something like that. So that is it for my If You Could book tag. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.